it's, you know, it's probably going to end up being around $2,000 if you were to...
I missed that. Could you say it again, please?
Oh my God, Siri, so rude. Okay, continue. Hey guys, what's up? You're here because you want to outsource your SEO. Maybe you're a solo operation. Maybe you're just looking to get your website ranked, whatever it is. Maybe you're ranking your clients' websites. You're in the right spot. I'm going to walk you through my exact 4-step process. You don't want to miss this one. There's lots of juice in here. Before we get in, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. It helps me help more people like you, and I'm always dropping the good stuff in there. Now you can take it from me, guys. I built my entire company to hire 5-figure months within the first year with the help of VAs, and this is what we've helped our digital marketing clients to do as well, and all the folk who are looking to outsource their SEO. As entrepreneurs, guys, as business owners, I think you can pretty much agree that there always seems to be more work than time to actually do it. We get to a point where we're chasing our tails and we've got all this work to do, and this is where outsourcing and delegation really come in handy. If you want to be scaling, then you need to look at the operations side of things, and the operations comes down to, okay, you got to take off that chief of everything officer hat and think, who can I be outsourcing this to in my team in order for me to free up time and then spend more time on the things that are conducive to the growth of the company, the development, right? Like maybe working on partnerships and stuff. We tend to really hold ourselves back, and this is what I see time and time again with a lot of our clients and a lot of the sales calls that I have as well. It's this real hard thing, you know, to be able to relinquish control. We hold on to control for so long with the things like, only I can do it. No one can do it as good as me. I don't believe in other people. Whatever it might be, whatever the objection is, I can tell you right now, when you find the right person through this 4-step process that I'm going to walk you through, when you go through and you follow this 4-step process, you can really hone in and find that person who's going to be an asset to your team, right? They're not just ticking the boxes, but they're going to be an asset who grow with your team, because that's what it's all about. I've seen a lot of people that have been in business for 5-10 plus years, and they're just kind of chugging along, like doing the same thing. You know, these are the people that they haven't quite gotten over that hump of relinquishing control, you know, and they might be happy in what they're doing as well, just, you know, chewing along and, you know, ticking the boxes and maybe getting, you know, a little bit better. It's slow growth though. If you are in scale mode, and if you do want to have a multi-6 or 7-figure business within a couple of years or 3 years, then this is something you really need to leverage. Outsourcing, right? Hence why you're here. So the cost of hiring is really going to depend on where you're hiring from. Like I've mentioned, my entire team is based in the Philippines. They are virtual professionals. I call them my co-workers, and I love recruiting from the Philippines. This is what we help our clients with as well. So when it comes to the cost of hiring, you really need to be considering, what are the in-house costs, what are the offshore costs, and what is it to hire someone locally who maybe works virtual as well. So I deep dive into this in one of my other videos, Outsourced Digital Marketing on a Bootstrap Budget. Go check that one out here. I'm not going to dive too far into it with this one, but I do want to let you know that when you are hiring from overseas, from abroad, I know for the Philippines for a fact that it ends up being at least a quarter of the price of what it is for someone who is perhaps local or virtually local, whether it's in-house or whether it's virtual. So if you're hiring somebody full-time, locally, in-house, let's say it costs $8,000, whatever the skills and experience are, you can probably, a quarter of that is going to be $2,000. And so that's generally what it's going to cost for someone who has a similar repertoire, similar skills and experience from the Philippines. Okay, so let's get into the 4-step process, which I know you guys have been waiting for. So the first step of this 4-step process, simple 4-step process, is clarity. So you've pretty much got the clarity part down packed because you're here, you're watching an SEO video, so I'm gonna guess that you're looking to outsource your SEO. But have a think about all the other little bits in your business as well. If you're a digital marketer and you're watching this, you're likely going to be doing website design and website builds as well. So what parts of that would you want to consider outsourcing as well? Because you can find virtual professionals out there who possess both of these skills. So they're very well versed in the SEO, and they can also be very well versed in the web design side of things. Especially if you're new and you're just starting off, you're probably not going to have a budget to hire 2 completely different people with different skill sets full-time. I always say, and if you can't hire them full-time, then offer them part-time hours, 20 part-time hours, and also make sure that perhaps they have another client as well, so they're not just going to drop you and go out and find a full-time job. But this first part is all about clarity. Just start thinking about the other parts in your business as well. You might go as far as customer service. How many clients do you have? And do you have someone on your team who's in charge of the client success? There's a big picture there. It's not just purely going to be one thing. Just get some clarity on what it is that you're actually looking to delegate and outsource first. And once you've got an idea of what exactly you do want to delegate and outsource, like task by task, then you can start to paint a picture of, okay, what type of role does this fit into? So when you're going through that clarity piece as well, I want you to have a look at this graphic here. So you've got good, fast, and cheap. And if you look in the middle, it says not possible. So it's very near impossible to get someone who has all three of those things. You're either going to get someone who's good and cheap, and they might be a little bit slow, but they're still good. The other one is fast and good. So they're probably going to be a little bit more expensive, but they're actually good at what they're doing. They've got the skill set there. And if you look at fast and cheap, it's probably going to be low quality. When you're going through and gaining clarity on those things that you want to outsource, just be realistic with what kind of fits into what role as well. You know, virtual assistants, they're not these rainbow unicorns who fart out rainbows, and you know, they're human as well. So just keep that in mind. So the next step to this 4-step process is autonomy. So we've had C, and now we're on to A, autonomy. So autonomy is all about mapping out the daily, weekly, monthly cadence, the day-to-day tasks of your virtual coworker. Now, why is this important? I think if you want to actually grow bigger and scale, you need to have somewhat of a structure, a back end to your business. And this is what I see time and time again with a lot of the clients that we have and a lot of the people that reach out for me and ask for help, is there's really a lack of a backbone in their business. It's kind of just all meat and flesh, and it's like all wobbly, and you know, it's, you know, if you hit it, it's just going to fall down. So you really need to have a backbone to your business, and this is how you can start. This is where you start with having a bit of a back end, whether you're using a project management system like Asana, or whether you're using Trello or ClickUp or Basecamp or whatever it is. It's having somewhere to map out the day-to-days with your virtual coworker. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be a simple task list, a to-do list, or if you've got your SOPs, your standard operating procedures, then you should have a checklist within those SOPs as well. And on your project management system, you can have it set to repeat, so that every single week or whenever you are endorsing a new project, they actually have this list to go through as well. And that way you can ensure that nothing's getting missed and that, you know, everything's up to scratch. You know, this is what SOPs are for. They're for predictability and eliminating errors. This autonomy piece, this is essentially making sure, especially when you're newly onboarding someone, you don't want them coming to you within the first week with 40, 50, 60 different questions. Like, that's just going to be annoying as shit. You're not going to enjoy it. You're probably going to get frustrated because you've got a million other things to do. And this is where you multiply problems, not production. So by being organized and having a bit of a list and having that project management set up, you can really circumvent that whole frustration piece because you've got somewhere to send them first. You're helping them to become autonomous and not rely so heavily on you by having some of these systems and these processes and checklists and stuff in place. Now, if you're not sure still on the clarity piece and you're not sure on the autonomy piece of this simple 4-step process, and you're wondering, well, Becca, like, where the hell do I start with that? I'm going to invite you to go ahead and download my delegation cheat sheet, and I'll also leave the link below in the description. That's helped hundreds of entrepreneurs by now. There's a whole list of things there that are commonly outsourced and delegated, and there's a bit of a setup in there actually to help you write your own SOPs out as well, and some suggestions and tips. So go check that out if you need some extra support there. So step 3 here is systemizing, and I kind of got a little bit excited on the last step and dove into that systemizing part already, where I was talking about the SOPs and the processes and the systems and all that jazz, which I know doesn't excite a lot of you, but it does excite a lot of other people as well. It just depends how your brain works and what kind of lights you up. I tend to be pretty savvy on the back end of stuff, and you know, being structured and organized. This stuff kind of excites me a little bit. But yes, this systemizing process, this is really creating a measured and predictable way of doing things. Like I mentioned, it's all about basically setting yourself up for success and also setting up your coworker for success as well. And as I mentioned in the previous previous step, there are project management systems that you can use, such as Asana, Trello, ClickUp, whatever it might be for you. These really allow you to have a better workflow. They allow you to have, your business kind of streamlined as well. There's a lot of things that you can most certainly automate in your business, but not everything can be automated. You need humans still. We're not completely AI yet. And this is where the help of your virtual coworker can really come in as well. So a pretty common SOP is onboarding new clients. That would be a really good SOP for someone who maybe is a client success specialist on your team. For an example of SEO, you're going to have an SOP which outlines step by step what your SEO process is from start to finish, from keyword research all the way to giving reports to clients and the maintenance and all of that. You want to be including all of those bits and pieces in your SOP and in your project management, and you can assign people to that project management as well. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and to give you guys a bit of a visual. I'm very much a visual person. I just want to give you a bit of an idea of what it looks like on the back end. So this is an example of a GMB optimization and maintenance SOP. Okay, I thought I'd keep it related to digital marketing in some way or another. So here you can see I've got kind of a couple of different phases here. Well, a few. Okay, so we've got initial GMB setup and optimization. We've got GMB maintenance and reporting and analytics. And I've actually got an entire Asana workspace, like just related and dedicated to SOPs. Okay, so when we are, say if we get a new client who is wanting GMB support, then we can come in here and we can copy this, and the person who is the GMB specialist and is doing this can actually come through and make sure they're ticking all of these things as they go through and not missing anything. Okay, so as you come through here as well, you'll see that there's actually subtasks that you can include in here as well. So for example, if we come to the weekly GMB post, they can click in here and they can say, okay, cool, 80 to 100 words per post, and make sure it's keyword optimized, have unique pictures, geotag, and make sure it's keyword rich. Well, there's a keyword rich image and text, including the location and niche. Okay, so whenever you've got somebody who is assigned to this on your team, you want to make sure that you're putting their name in here, and that if it's a new project and a new client, you want to make sure that there is a due date in there as well. And this is something you can assign to them to do. You can say, hey Joe, I want you to go ahead and copy the GMB optimization and maintenance SOP, and then I want you to assign yourself and put due dates in for each. And so you might on a call discuss this with them. So you might say, okay, the initial GMB, I want the due date to, you might give them a week deadline for that. Okay, probably not a week. That's quite a lot. You can smash that out pretty quickly, depending on the information you get from your clients. But you could probably do that in a couple of days. GMB maintenance, yeah, that's kind of going to be a little bit ongoing, and so you might have some due dates there as to when's the next time for a review. Okay, and then reporting and analytics. Okay, so if you want to set as well, if you want to set these up on repeat, if you have something that needs to be done every single week, like for example, weekly GMB post, what you'd want to do is set this to repeat here. And it would be weekly on Wednesdays, if you like. Okay, and so every single week that's going to be popping up here, and they're going to have to come through and tick that off. Okay, so it can't be missed. So yeah, that's how you can put your SOPs together on the back end. And I hope that's given you, a visual, a nice visual to be able to work with and give you a bit of an idea about how you can put together an SEO SOP as well. Okay, so the next step to this, step number 4, is another S. So we spelled out CAS now, and it's going to be scaling. So to be able to scale your business, what do you need? You need more people that you can support. You need more clients. With doing all of this stuff, step 1, 2, and 3, with the onboarding and the hiring of new virtual coworkers and the delegating of your day-to-days and your operations and your delivery, you're setting the back end up for success so that you're ready to rumble when you're ready to go to that scaling stage. Client acquisition. So if you're getting appointments set, if you've got your client acquisition process down pat, this is when you can really start to ramp things up here. You can't scale unless you have more people to sell to. But if you did the reverse and you went out and you did all this client acquisition and got crap loads of appointments coming in, but had nothing to set up with the fulfillment and the actual delivery of your services, then you'd have a bit of a problem. You just want to use your discernment and your judgment here and think about what's best for your business with where you're at right now. So if you've got this new SEO specialist on board and you might have taken them through your process, you've done some training with them, they've done a couple of case studies now, they've worked on a couple of client profiles and done some onboarding, and if you're ready and you feel like they're ready to scale and go hard with you, that's when you can start looking to ramp things up. That's when you really get into scale mode and you start to see the cash flow in and you start to reach those goals and those targets and grow your business. And the beautiful thing about this is you get to really scale sustainably as well. The responsibility is not all on you. You're no longer the chief of everything officer, the CEO, because you have used your insights and your knowledge and your expertise to go out and delegate parts of your business that don't really serve you. This is exciting. This is where you get to really watch things grow and take things off your plate and it's being done right. Like, that is awesome. So now you guys know all about how to outsource your SEO and how to break away from being the solopreneur. If you're looking for more like recruitment advice, like where do I find these people? I didn't cover that in here because I've covered that in so many other videos. Go and check out this video, which is all about hiring a virtual assistant. And I actually cover where you can find these people as well. If you have liked this, I would love it if you give me a like and subscribe to my channel as well. It helps me to help more people like you. And if you're keen to know my insider hacks and a little bit more about the SOPs and the systems and the processes and how I work with my team and how I scale to where I am now in a very short amount of time, then I am welcoming you to come into my free community. It's a Facebook group. I will leave that link below. Thank you so much for sticking around, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one, guys.